Hey guys, Danish Kasamali here, founder of Silky Socks. What do I got in my hand? Black and white socks. Yep, these are our all new wide leg socks. Wide leg socks, what does that mean? That means this sock is wider than any other sock we've created. It's got about a 4.5 inch width before you even sublimate it. People are asking, hey, can I get the socks wider? My calves need some extra room. So we wanted to make these for those individuals that need a little more room down on the legs. If you got wider legs, wider feet, thicker calves, this product is for you. And a lot of people you might hear in the sublimation game, would complain that, hey, when the socks stretch, I can't even see my graphic. So, well, we did solve that original complaint with having our jigs that stretch the sock, but this sock will do an even better job addressing those concerns because it is our widest sock ever made. Guys, the factory was like, no, we can't make a sock that wide. And I was like, come on, you can. And they finally came back to me about a year later or months later after coming up with the idea. They developed a tool in their manufacturing that would allow them to have a width this wide, because you don't see socks this wide on the ankle normally. It's not regular. So they charged me like a massive tooling charge setup fee to get this done. But hey, we got it done. It comes in 2 lengths. I got my crew length and my knee-high length here. It also comes in 2 colors. This color is the black foot, black interior we call it, because it's got the black inner. As you can see, the interior thread is black. So that helps you with your dark designs, and when people stretch them, they'll see the interior will not give you white lines, it'll give you black lines. That helps disguise your graphic and make it look better when you're actually wearing the product. And here goes the white color on these wide leg socks. Again, knee-high length and crew length. White is good if you're gonna keep your sock white and put a nice little logo right there. Or if you're gonna have a white background with a little pattern, maybe some text. You can get kind of creative with it. Let's say you had like diamonds all over or a little camo going on. But as long as the majority of your background is white, we recommend this sock. So white and black, it comes in medium and large, and in the crew length and the knee-high length. And if we compare the standard, right here is a standard athletic crew sock from Silky Socks to the wide leg, you could see it's about almost a 1 inch difference in the width here. So this one is much wider. This was loaded on our regular size jig, and then after you unload it, it contracts a little bit. This one hasn't even been loaded or printed yet, but you could already see the width. So it'll at least end up this wide when it's done sublimating. Speaking of jigs, the jigs we recommend for this sock is our knee-high jigs. So this knee-high jig is wider than the standard jig. Here's the standard jig compared to the knee-high jig so you can get a reference. So the standard jig is about 4.25 inches wide. The knee-high jig is 5 inches wide. So when you do your wide leg socks, you can use this knee-high jig on the crew and the knee-high length. If you needed it even wider, you could make your own jig that's, let's say, 5.5 or even 6 inches wide and use the wide leg knee-highs for that. In today's demo, I'm actually going to print this knee-high wide leg sock using these knee-high jigs, and we'll see how it comes out. Then we're gonna have our company assistant Ahmed come over and help us try it on. We're gonna compare the fit of a standard knee-high sock from Silky Socks compared to a wide leg knee-high from Silky Socks. Check this out, little Rasta colors, little Jamaica kind of vibe here. We're gonna go ahead and make another sock design on this using sublimation, and then we'll compare the two and see how it fits. You ready? Let's go. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do is load the knee-high socks onto my knee-high jigs. And I could do it 2 ways. Do it where it's the logo centered on the side, or I could kind of turn the sock just like this, and then it'll be a front and back layout. So that's actually what I'm gonna do here, because my transfer has some text going off across the front, so I think it'll be a cleaner look that way. push up from the bottom and pull up from the top. That's an easy way to load. And I'll do the same thing with my second sock here. Again, turn and then load. So now I've got the front facing me instead of the side facing me. Some logos and some projects are going to require you loading it on its side, and some are going to be better loading it front to back like I'm doing here. You just got to analyze your project and see what you're doing. Boom, there's my 2 socks loaded. Here is the transfer sheet that I'm going to be placing on these. So it says reggae, it's mirrored, and it's got the same 3 colors going on. So it'll be a nice little contrast to my normal width sock, and we'll see how it comes out. So I've got it loaded onto my heat press here. This is a 16 by 20 heat press. I've got some craft paper or butcher paper on the bottom, and I've got it set to 400 degrees and 35 seconds. Let's get silky, baby. Okay, so it's got some text at the top. It says reggae. I'm gonna be able to get most of that, but some of it is going to cut off, but that's okay. That should do it. Okay. And press. Okay, I got the socks hanging out from the bottom. That's totally okay. If this gets pressed, that's fine too. It's a cotton foot with extra comfort. So you can press this guy and it'll still come out real good. But in this case, I'm leaving it hanging because it was just easier to load that way. And again, these are similar to our athletic socks. They have a cotton foot and a polyester top. So you actually don't need to sublimate the foot. But since it's a black foot, I have a lot of my transfer sheet hanging onto the, bleeding over to the black. But you'll see here that it doesn't show up on the black. It just shows up on the colored section. Woo! Yes, sir. So the E cut off a little bit, but the R fit nicely. The 3 colors, you can see the vibrancy. Just like our athletic socks, guys. If you've done this before or seen this before in our other videos, the material is the same. It's just wider for you guys. And another thing about the knee-high, the reason I thought this would be dope to have a knee-high wide leg is because some sports use like shin guards or require like something to be worn on their legs and then put the socks over them. So if you're dealing with a sports team like that, you definitely want to use the wide leg versus the standard knee-high, I'm thinking, because this extra width will help you get it over those shins. And here what I'm doing, of course, is what's called the flip, switch, and roll to eliminate the line. And our jigs are designed to make this process easy and smooth and comfortable for you. You want to just make sure like you can handle the temp, the 400 degrees that it just came off of. I gave it a few seconds to cool, and I'm eliminating the line just enough where it's facing towards me a bit, and then I set it back down. Second sheet here, same thing. Give it a little bend action so it doesn't curl on me. All right, let's press. I know you guys like this press. This is a red swing away 16 by 20 heat press. Imported these for making socks for y'all. I do give some of these away from time to time in our Facebook group, Sublimation with Silky Socks. So if you're not in our Facebook group, you're missing out. Join in Sublimation with Silky Socks, one of the best sublimation communities on the internet, where we're showing you silky sock stuff all day long, and you guys can share what you're making. And I try to share some of my knowledge, motivation, inspiration, and behind the scenes of what I'm developing and working on. Let's see that second side. Very nice, very nice. As you can see, it doesn't show up over the black too much. And if some of it is showing on your cotton foot, it'll wash out with a couple washes, so that's good. But you could always cut it with some scissors so you don't get that much bleed. All right, so let's take this off the press, back over here. I will unload it in just a few seconds here as it cools. Then I'll take a look at the line with you, see if I got most of the line eliminated there, and then we'll compare the width to this guy here. All right, so I'm gonna peel at the top and unload here, and then peel at the top and unload here like so. There is my final result. Let's take a look at the line. Beautiful. Got all of that there, so it looks like a seamless print here. Got that here. Looks pretty seamless there. Looks great. Come on this side. Let's check the other sock. Same thing. Got pretty much all of that. See a tiny bit of white right there, but I don't think that's too noticeable. And on this side, the yellow looks great. Looks great. So that's the thing with sublimation, guys. We have to lay down one side, press it, then do the other side, do the flip, switch, and roll technique. It's not a 360 print, but you do your best to eliminate the line and get it showing nicely. So let me see what it says here. It says reggae this way, and then it actually says reggae this way, and it even says reggae this way. See that? So it's kind of like when you do a front and back layout, you even get the wraparound across the sides like you see here. So reggae here. That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. So if it said like Silky socks, it would say Silky socks 3 times. Once straight across, no, 4 times. Once straight across, once around this side, once around this side, and bam, on the back side too. So that's what I call a front, back layout. Front, back, and then it even wraps around on the sides. Super dope. Let's take a look at the width. Comparing it to my width as a printed example. So comparing it to the width, the regular knee-high sock after production is measuring out to slightly under 4, and the wide leg after production is measuring out to a little over 4.5, slightly under 5 it looks like at the top. So almost a full inch wider, at least like a 3/4 inch difference there. Like I said, guys, if you want something wider for the knee high, whether you have thicker calves and legs or you just want to use it for team sports, I'd say you go with the wide leg knee high. But for standard use, regular wear, you can go with the standard knee high. Let's call Ahmed over and see if he wants to try these on with us. Guys, this is Ahmed, our new Silky Socks company assistant. How you feeling today, Ahmed?
Feel good.
Feel good? All right, so we're gonna have you try on one of these and one of these. This is the wider version, this is the standard version. And I wanna see how it fits you and ask you how it feels, and we'll go from there. Ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. All right, so Ahmed's got them on now. The first thing I notice is that there's a little more white showing through on this sock as compared to this sock. So because this sock's the standard one, as you stretch it, it's a black interior sock, but it also does have a white and black inside. So the white starts to show through a little faster on this sock than on this sock. Would you agree there? Yeah. Okay, so we could see a little more white showing through than there, but overall not a huge difference visibly. I think the main difference would be like the feel. If you want them a little bit looser, a little bit wider, go with that one. If you want it a little bit tighter, you can go with this one. And then definitely though, consider if you're using them for sports that need a shin guard, you're gonna wanna go with the wide leg one. Now, you were saying you kind of like them a little bit tight?
Yeah. For me, when I'm doing sports, I prefer a little more compression. Yeah, but this is definitely more loose and breathable.
Okay, so there you have it. It's kind of personal preference. You might still want it a little more fitted, like this one, the standard one. But if you want it a little more breathable, a little more room, then go with the wide leg one. And that should give you guys some options as you're choosing your sublimated socks. And hopefully you guys get a chance to try out the crew length wide leg as well as the knee high wide leg. And that's about all we got. I'm Danish Kasamali. This is Ahmed from Silky Socks. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And we are out of here. Later.